Hello, and we are back on our week 2 with Spice Up Manifestation Hot Sauce sessions. And I celebrate everybody who is coming back, who is doing the work, because remember, it works when we work it. And I just want to go over what we've done last time again. So last week, we determined what we truly want to create or manifest in our life. Then we said that let's create that powerful vision because we want to have the destination that we are connected, that anchor that we are using in order to see where exactly we want to go, because there is no wind in the favor of the sailor who doesn't have the destination. So we said about the importance of having that vision. And then we were talking about what exactly is inspired action, right? Because it's great that we wrote that vision, it's great that we know what we want, but now let's also have that inspired action. What can we do? What step can we do in that direction of our destination where we want to be? And we also said, okay, let's just have that week to immerse into these teachings to see what exactly we are doing, and to watch the replays to make sure that we are connecting. And this week we are starting talking about the fear, right? And the first and foremost, I wanted just to say that there is that FOMO, the fear of missing out, the fear of missing out on the opportunities, right? And that's why I want to invite each one of you, take the time, take the opportunity of all these 30 days of sessions and really create something powerful for yourself, because I can give you everything what I know, but if you are not doing the work, it's not going to work for you, right? And what the opportunity that I'm giving to you, because people reached out to me and we had this powerful vision sessions where we dissect everything. When I went through their vision, gave them the powerful words, gave them the right way of saying things, because believe it or not, there is a specific language that we are also using when we talk to the universe. So people who acted on it, I celebrate you, I salute you, and I'm still inviting and extending the opportunity for others, so you don't feel like you are missing the opportunity. When does this happen? When we look at somebody and we see that their life is, looking so good, they have everything what they have, and it feels like, how come I'm not having these opportunities? But let me tell you, sometimes these opportunities come to us, but we are not even aware to accept them and invite them into our life. So I'm just giving you that straight point, that take advantage of the opportunities that come your way and actually act on them and do something about it. So the vision is still there for you to grab. Just comment vision and I'll DM you. Make sure that you're doing something for your life. And let's dive into the three reasons of the fear, right? And I wanted to do two parts on that. Today is the first part where we are talking about a couple of fears. And why is this important? Because a lot of times fear is something that is like a stopping stone, right? That stumbling block that we cannot pass forward. Why? Because we are always thinking from our mind, what can we do, right? So the first thing, when we are going after manifestation, we want something, we design it, we decided for it, we desire it, and then that fear starts to rising up. And that fear is, one of them is the fear of failure. We are not sure, what if it's not gonna materialize the way that we want? What if we are using the resources, the time, the energy, everything, and it's not gonna work out? How am I gonna show up in this world? I'm just gonna be another failure, right? But let me tell you, it's not about that failure, right? Because if we have a different perception and look at that failure as, hey Wendy, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Oh, awesome, awesome. I'm happy that you can hear. So the idea is that failure is just the perception, because if we look at every experience This is just the lesson for us to learn. So in any situation, even if something didn't work out, it doesn't mean that we are failed. It means that this is not that way, it's something different, right? Because when people were asking Edison, who was trying to invent the electricity, and he was trying and trying, and somebody asked him, how come after 10,000 of failures you still didn't quit? The Edison said it wasn't the failure, it was just the feedback. That means that it's not this way but another way, right? So I'm just wanted to emphasize that we are actually shouldn't be afraid of the failure, because the person who doesn't fail is the person who doesn't try. And a lot of times we are just sitting in that comfort zone. We are just so neglected to move anywhere else, because we say, okay, it's good, I just love the life that I have, and I'm not willing to change anything, because we just do not recognize that we have that fear of failure, and that's something that stop us, right? So I just want you to step over it, understand that it's not the failure, it's just the feedback. And as long as you are trying and modifying something, it's all about just let's tweak, let's try something else, and let's see if it's gonna work, right? And that's where you receive that joy, that that curiosity, that just let me do something different, right? Out of the life that we already know and explore, let's tune into something else and see how it's gonna work out for us, right? The other fear is that shows up a lot of times is the fear of rejection. Let's say we want to attract that new love, and then we think about all the different things. What if I'm going to approach the person? What if I'm going to talk to the person? What if that person is going to reject me? But let me tell you, I had this funny personality even when I was in my teens. Like I never had the problem to walk to the boy and ask him out if I really like him, and that fear of rejection was never inside of me. I was like, okay, so the worst that he could say is just to say no. So it's not that, my life would depend on it. So I perceived that rejection completely different. And more than that, I just told to myself, okay, if he's going to say no, it's just his loss, not mine. Again, just see, it's all in our perception. It's the way we see things, right? The fear of rejection, for instance, sometimes people are afraid to ask for the promotion, even though they could work well, they could be so talented, but then again, they are afraid to step up and have that powerful conversation with their boss, because they are afraid of the rejection. They're afraid to hear the word no. But let me tell you, the more we start hearing the word no, the more we are gonna become very, like immune to this word. So what? It's no. It doesn't mean that everybody else is gonna say no. It means just, it just didn't resonate with that person, with that position, with anybody, anything else, right? But the idea is that no should not stop us. No actually would propel us to ask more questions, to continue growing, to continue progressing, because like I said, with more no's, there is still going to be that yes that you're going to hear. And just to give you the perspective of everybody successful people, every successful person goes through that trial of the fear, right, of the rejection. And J.K. Rowling, when we are right now reading Harry Potter, we think, oh my God, she is so fortunate, she's so famous, she has a lot of money. But at one point, nobody knew that she was actually on the welfare, and she was having the kids, and she was a single mom without any means to exist. And Harry Potter just came out of her when she was traveling on the train, and then she was having all these writings, and she started to go to the publishing companies, and one publishing company to the next publishing company. Nobody was accepting her work because nobody believed in that, right? Until she finally hit that publishing house where the daughter of the owner started to read that novel, and she fell in love with that. And publisher decided to publish her book. So the idea is, it doesn't matter how many times somebody's going to say no, because eventually you're going to run into the person that's going to say yes. And all we need in this work is one yes to propel us on a different level. So the more resilient we become and we tolerate that rejection, the better we equipped with just going with the confidence and know that eventually we are going to receive that overwhelming yes. And the third fear that I wanted to cover today is the fear of the unknown. A lot of times we just want, because remember, we were all raised with certain beliefs, with certain traditions, and usually people take this traditional pathway where, okay, you go to school, you graduate at school, you go to the college, you receive the education, then you receive the job, you get married, so everything is already predictable. So our brain does not function well if we have to face something unknown. That's why it's so important to understand that unknown is actually that reality that we want to experience. Unknown is something that is the life that we are craving so much, the life that we are desiring so much. It's already existing there. So when we partner with unknown, knowing that our heart wants something, and we know that this is real, right? Because again, we have that inner GPS, we have that intuition that guides us. And we know that if we walk into that unknown, and we start putting these pieces together to the puzzle, right? And we take one step, and after that step the other step is going to be revealed, and eventually we meet what the creation that we wanted, right? We understand that we embrace that unknown, and we welcome that unknown, and we feel great and we feel excited, because what is the point to experience the same life again and again and again? That's why a lot of times we are just running through the same vicious cycle, and we feel like no matter what we do, we still produce the same results. We have the same income, we still with the same partner, maybe we are not happy with that person. We still feel the same in terms of the health, and we just can't break through that cycle. Why? Because if we are not ready to welcome these changes, if we are not ready to do this inner work, because remember, a lot of times people are waiting until their reality change in order to say that now I'm ready to do the work. But it works other way around. This is the inside out work. First we are working on the inside, and we become who we meant to become, and that's how our reality is going to be reflected, right? We work on ourselves, we become a different person, we are facing the challenges, and that's exactly where everything starts. Because if nothing is changing, nothing is going to change in our life. So when we start changing ourselves from the within, we we upgrade our habits, we get rid of the people that do not serve us anymore, right? We become more and more aware of what's going on in our surroundings. As we are upgrading ourselves, our reality is also going to be upgraded, and we experience a different reality. And that's where I mentioned we are vibrating on a different higher frequency, and we start attracting everything that's matching that higher frequency. So that's exactly what I wanted to come up with. And day 8 fun work is going to be acknowledge and celebrate that you took a step to face your fear. Just think about it, all these 3 fears that I covered today, and today is the part 1, because tomorrow we are going to dissect more into other fears that we experience. Between fear of failure, between fear of rejection, and between fear of unknown, just think for yourself, which is the one that does not allow you to move forward with everything what you want to experience in your life. Is it this is fear of failure or fear of rejection? Which one is the strongest? Fear of unknown. Take one of these fears and just do something to face that fear and move forward. And once you do that step, just celebrate yourself, because you know what? The baby steps take us up to the mountain Everest. We were not born to be the most successful. We were not born to be fearless, but we can practice and become these kind of people, right? So it's all about the willingness to put the work and move confidently in the direction of your dream. That's it for today. I love you all. Okay, Wendy said, can you go back and forth with these fears? Yes, of course. So 3 fears we were covering, right? Fear of failure, fear of rejection, and fear of the unknown. Just think which one is the most resonating with you, the one that you really feel like it's stopping you from proceeding forward. And just face that fear and see what you can do in order to tap and overcome it. And if you have any questions in terms how do you tap into that fear, just message me, say fear, and I'll give you some support on that. All right. I love you so much. And I celebrate you for coming in. Yeah, fear to be alone. Yes. Remember, we are never alone. It's all in our perception, Nabil, right? Fear to be alone. The fear to be alone, it's more like a fear of unknown, right? Why sometimes we are just stuck in the same relationship? Because we are so afraid that if we are going to leave that relationship, we are just going to be by ourselves. That's exactly what the fear of unknown, because sometimes maybe it's not the best place for us to be, but it feels very safe because this is already something that you've experienced. So Maria and Nabil, in terms of the fear to be alone, it means that this is the fear of unknown, because you do not know what's out there. If you are going to leave your existing relationship, you feel lost. But I can reassure you that you do not have to feel this way, because remember, once we confidently step out of that invisible line that we drawn for ourselves, that's exactly where the miracles happen, right? That's exactly how it is. And Wendy, tomorrow we are going to be talking about it. Fear of being seen. It's going to be fear of the success. And this is something we are going to be talking about. Hello, my son. So tomorrow we are going to touch upon the fear of success, and we are going to digest all other fears, right? So again, I salute you, I celebrate you for actually showing up, for sticking with that, because remember, this is something so this is something we want to understand and really work on it, because it works when we work it. So I love you all. I wish you all the best, and do that work and come back tomorrow, and I'll see you